Hi, welcome to the 5th annual Ashland World Music Festival. We're going virtual this year. I'm Anna Byers, and I'll be your MC for the day. So what does going virtual mean? It means that instead of having a multi-day, multi-event festival in Ashland, Oregon, we are broadcasting our main stage show to anyone who wants to watch it. We have 3 fantastic artists with us today, and after each of their performances, we'll get to take some time to talk with them and hear their stories, get to learn more about them. You're welcome to ask questions too. Feel free to submit them in the live stream feed. Opening the festival at 1:15 p.m., we have Okaidja Afroso. He's going to share a really incredible blend of his traditional Ghanaian music and other global music traditions. Then at 2:15, we have the Nell Jim Band, and they combine a wide array of genres, from billy rock to jazz to swing. It's going to be super fun. And finally, at 3:15, we've got the Son de Cuba Quartet bringing in fantastic dance music from all around the Caribbean. Well, we're definitely sad that we don't get to do our normal festival format. There are some upsides to going virtual. For one thing, it's shareable. If there's someone you know who would enjoy this event, please share the video with them. It will be up after our live stream is over. It also gave us a little more flexibility. I don't know if you heard, but there was a massive fire here in Southern Oregon at the beginning of September when this event was originally supposed to happen. In fact, we've turned this event into a fundraiser for people impacted by that fire. You might have heard about the Almeida Fire, sweeping through the Rogue Valley here in Southern Oregon in early September. The towns of Phoenix and Talent were especially hard hit by the fire, and today we're raising money for the Phoenix Talent School District Fire Relief Fund. Roughly 80% of the students in the school district were impacted by the fire, and this fund is administered by school district staff, and they have an intimate understanding of district families' needs and can provide flexible assistance to the approximately 400 affected households. We are hoping to raise $5,000 in relief today in support of continuing this restorative work long-term in our community, and Rogue World Music will be matching the first $1,000 donated. If you'd like to contribute, there's a link to our donation page in the event description, or you can go to our website, rogueworldmusic.org. All right, let's get started. Our first performance is by Okaidja Afroso. He's an incredible Ghanaian musician, and he comes from a family of musicians and storytellers. I'm really looking forward to the chat with him after his performance. I hope you stick around to listen.
Thank you very much. The first song I'm gonna sing for you is called The Palm Wine Sea. In Ghana, we play high life music. Before that, or still, we do play palm wine music as well. The music high life came out of palm wine music. My name is Okaidja Afroso, and I'm from Ghana. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was the palm wine seed. The palm wine seed. The high life music we play in Ghana. We used to play with African instruments like drums and bells, shakers, and then the Europeans, the Spanish introduced the nylon string guitar to us, and we incorporated it into our palm wine music. And as time goes on, then the music started to change, and but still, every time we play our palm wine music, there is a Spanish influenced guitar style. So that's why, especially when you hear a song like the palm wine seed, you hear that a lot. I'm gonna move on and play you another song. This is a song called Akamon Nane. Akamon Nane, which means don't hold my leg. The direct translation from my language, Ga, it means don't hold my leg. What does that mean? It means that don't discourage me. That's another way of us saying don't discourage me when we say Akamon Nane, don't hold my leg. Akamon Nane. can be me. Better be I can say you're no party. Now you're on my fire. She a job. The melapon. Now you're on my fire. She a job. The melapon. Lenche yin fire. She a job. Oh, the melapon. Minya for me. Achawe for me nike wo mayalo akamonane moku akamonane for me lo akamonane nke moku akamonane nane akamonane ite kuto pakam to palanto kam ire la to no te tirilando le tiki podam pokam patam Minya for me, Kesukumaya, Akamonani, Minya for me, Kejo Majo, Akamonani, Minya for me, Nike Wo, Mayalo, Akamonani, Minya for me, Kedatre for your Jimmy, Akamonani, Minya for me, Kokwa for your Jimmy, Akamonani, Minya for me, Kewolo Mama, Akamonani, say, yay. Akamonane, say, oh, Akamonane, minya for me, Nikado, Majolo, Akamonane, minya for me, Kajo, Majo, Akamonane, say, Akamonane, say, Akamonane. Thank you. Yes, Akamonane. That was Akamonane. In Ghana, we have a lot of different ethnic groups and different tribes. So because of that, when you travel through the country, the music we play, musical instrument changes as you travel through the country. This is also a country about the size of the state of Oregon, but we speak over 59 languages in Ghana. So what I'm trying to do here is to show you different parts of Ghana and share a few stories with you. I'm gonna play you another song, and this is gonna be a song that I call it Apakan. Contacho koshishi Apakan shitamo Jomo son areo binomi Mi contagio Lege chamele pasashi Jomo son Thank you. Apakai, Carrefour, Lofron. Carrefour, Lofron. This is a proverb. This is a proverb, a saying from my culture, from my people, the Gan people. We say, Carrefour, Lofron. A crab will never give birth to a bird. A crab will never give birth to a bird. In America, you would say, an apple does not fall far from the tree. Apple does not fall far from the tree. Carrefour, Lofron. That was Apakai that just played for you. I'm gonna move on and use this instrument. I'm gonna play you a song. I call it Timi Timi Nyamali, and I'm using this siak. This is a siak from northern Ghana, because I'm gonna transition and use the same instrument to play you another song. Timi Timi. Tin tin tara, tin tin tara, tin tin tara. Tidi lero la, tin tin tara. Tidi lera pakato pakitek no tero. Paku 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 tin tara. Tidi lero kunda, paku tin tara. Tidi lero na, tin tin tara. Timi timi nyamale, nyamale mudwa. Modwa sakma teklete, ishoke kupembali. Nyawa bumashio, ishake kukembai. Amalaye, amanyaye, ishake kukembai. Nyawa bumashio. Yes, thank you. This is an instrument. It's called siak from northern Ghana. Thank you very much. I am going to play you one more song. And this is a song that I'm going to use this drum. It's called Choinshi. 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 Yes. Basically, what the word Choinshi came from the word Choshishin, bottom of the tree, Choshishin. And so I'm going to play you a song. I grew up in a small town on the coast of Accra, west coast of Accra, which is the capital. Accra is the capital of Ghana. And when I was growing up, the fishermen and the fishmongers lived in this small town where I grew up. And they will travel in the olden days. They will travel, they said it's far. But after knowing where this market is, which is Kaswa Market, they call it Pehe. The Ghana people call it Pehe Market. So they will walk there, go and sell their fish and buy produce that they need, bring it back. They wrote a song about it. Apparently there were so many trips, so they wrote a song about it. This song is one of the songs that is dear to my heart, so I wanted to share with you, to give you a little bit of a little piece of Ghana to take with you. Kaswa, 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 kaswa. Chuchuble man, ya manyo, kaswa. Mane loleba, kaswa, kaswa, kaswa. Be, chuchuo, ya manyo, mane okokwe ba, be. Chuchuble man, ya manyo, mane loleba. Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Okaidja Afroso. It has been a pleasure performing for you. I'm from Ghana, and maybe one day you can visit Ghana. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people, and thank you, and have a blessed day. Please, please, please spread the peace. Thank you.
This segment is just an opportunity to talk a bit more about yourself as an artist and how long have you been listening to palm wine music or studying palm wine music specifically?
So, palm wine music is the music that is the music I grew up hearing. I grew up around fishermen, mm-hmm. and they while they're pulling their net or when they're working on the boat, there's always music. And so for some reason, it's the music that motivates them to work those long hours and without it feeling like they're working very long hours.
Yeah.
So, when I was growing up, there's music everywhere. Palm wine style guitar, I heard it a lot, but I didn't, first of all, the guitar was an instrument that I never thought of. It was too far for me to reach it. It kind of intimidated me, when I was in Ghana, but I love the sound of the nylon string guitar. There are a couple of different style of palm wine music. Where I'm from in Ghana, the Ghana people, we play the style that is called dagomba, which it has a feel of you would say Spanish style music. You would say Afro-Brazilian, so that's what we play in the South. And when you go to the Ashanti region, they play a different style also. So I had it for a while until maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I decided I wanted to switch from playing traditional drumming music to using string instrument to write my music. Mm-hmm. And every time I take these melodies that I would sing to somebody here in America, they couldn't play it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why is it so hard? And so I said, well, why don't I teach myself how to play it, so I don't have to ask people to play it for me. So that's how I started. And I like the palm wine style, so it was easy for me to, because those are the sounds that I already hear in my head. So when I pick the guitar, those are the sounds that I was trying to mimic.
Uh-huh. Wow. So did you teach yourself,
mm-hmm.
or did you go home and find a teacher, or did you, what was that like for you?
I taught myself, yes. So believe it or not, YouTube was very instrumental. So, and the best thing with nowadays is there is YouTube, and you can go online. And even though I'm very far from home, mm-hmm. I can go online and Google palm wine music, and there will be a lot of high life music. There will be, tons of people playing it. So I have to learn to play just a couple of, few songs, and then the rest of it is really, I was really motivated. Something about me just wanted to be good at it. So then, browsing through YouTube, I came across a gentleman in Ghana who have studied with one of Ghana's, I would say, legendary palm wine guitar player. Mm-hmm. His name is Konimo. And one of Konimo's students was playing flamenco music really good. And I actually thought he was living in Spain, and he was playing everything. He was playing palm wine music, And so I I wrote him, in Ghana. I was still living in Portland. And I wrote him and I asked him, hey, I love the style you're playing. Are you in Spain? He's like, no, I've never left Ghana. So he has also been watching YouTube videos to, broaden his repertoire. So we became really good friends. And then I went home, and him and I stayed in my hotel room with on two bunk beds, and we wrote that whole palm wine. My last album, the Palm Wine Sea. We wrote that album. So he also had influence on me, but him in particular gave me the advice to not take lessons from people, because my style, because I'm self-taught, is very unique. And if I take two lessons from people, they might influence my style too much. But rather, for me to dig more into studying more chord structures, how to use my chords. And so he started helping me a little bit about how to use the fretboard and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. Have you had, especially because of the pandemic, have you had anyone reach out to you asking you about your music or help creating theirs, or through virtual?
Yeah. This pandemic has been a lot of things for us all, and especially for musicians who tour like myself. There's a negative and a positive side of it, and I would say, we all know the negative side, but the positive side for me in particular is it gives me another some space to be able to dive into more, to perfect my craft. And I'm in the middle of writing a new project right now, and it's a project based 100% on the music of the fishermen in Ghana.
Wow.
That I grew up with.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah, it's going to be a full-length album that also has a documentary with it.
Wow.
So this time gives me a lot of time to write. So I'm working a lot writing, and also with my agent, we are starting to do recordings for venues and something like what I'm doing now. So yes, it's the pandemic has changed a lot of stuff, but I think it's another way of telling us to as musicians or as people to look at other ways of communicating, other ways of engaging, other ways of just being part of the community and moving forward.
I want to ask you so much more about your album coming out, inspired by where you grew up and the fishermen there. How is that different from the music that you just played for us?
Yeah. So the difference. The music I like, for instance, that you will hear on the show that you're going to hear, the difference is when you listen to all my albums, I didn't design it like that, but each of them feels like there's a growth and transition to the next idea. And this one, what you're about to hear is really me coming full circle on palm wine music, and just writing music that I hear in my head, guitar music, and the influences that I've had. Maybe, for instance, being in America, the influence the Western world have had on me, and all of that. This new music that is gonna come out is 100% based on where I grew up and how to preserve the culture through music. And because for us, our music, our stories is the literature, is the history, is everything. So this this music is going to have more substance in terms of cultural preservation. So I want to put certain information in the song so that younger generation would hear the song and say, oh, this is where my ancestors came from. One of the ideas that I'm digging into is for the longest time, my people, the Ga people, we don't know exactly where we migrated from before coming to Ghana. But more and more evidence and people who have done extensive research is finding that we are from ancient Nubia, and we migrated along the Nile River all the way to West Africa, with many other tribes. And I want to put that in songs, because if those are recorded into songs, every time somebody hears the song, they're hearing that piece of history.
Yeah.
I want to put, and just to give you another example, and this is work that I have never done before. The names of the months, like January, February, March, and on, all the way till to December, doesn't exist anymore in our language. It's totally gone. People don't mention Aharabata like January or Oflo. People don't, when they're speaking, they somehow say, oh, last month. Oh, they describe the month more so than actually naming the month. And I think it's because it's been fading away from the language, the day by day language, so much so that the younger generation doesn't know what December or July is called.
And
so I want to put them into songs so that eventually if someone wants to know that there is a way, then they have it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with any music or dance like that where you felt like it really captured a piece of your cultural history or identity for you?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, and the genre of music that I'm trying to tackle is one style is called Pan, and the other style is called Jama. And the fishermen and farmers are my people. When in the olden times, they would record this, they would sing these songs, but when you hear it, they are songs that has a lot of history in it. I remember when I was growing up, my mother had one cassette tape that she bought in Accra, in the city, and she played it a lot. And believe it or not, when I hear back, I can hear this music. I can hear a lot of the music as we're sitting here right now. Yeah. And there's a lot of history in it. There's a lot of tribal conflict, where it happens, what happens, who won, who did, why it happened. All of that was in the songs that she played. And I had so many fishermen would sing songs about like people in the town. I think I've said that in my shows many times. You cannot live in the fishing community and do something bad or do anything and nobody talks about it. It's gonna be turned into a song, and they be singing the song to pull their nets, and and it will be like the newspaper. It's so that's how I grew up. If you do something, they found, unless nobody finds out. If they find out, you're going to be part of the song.
Yeah, I wish we had something similar to that here in America. I do.
Well, there was a town in I think it's somewhere in Idaho. I've traveled a lot, so I'm not sure about what state this town was in, but they had a little newspaper in a small town, and there's a gossip section, and people can write about their neighbors and everything that's happening in the community, yeah. And the newspaper publish it, but there's no name to it.
Oh.
So I saw it and I'm like, oh, this sounds like the way I grew up. So yeah.
If only you could sing it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really quickly before we go, I wanted to ask you if you could share a little bit more about the two different percussion instruments you used. The small round one in your performance, and then the big drum that you said the name comes from the word that means bottom of the tree.
Yes. So that drum is actually let me do this really quick. If I can actually, if I go down here, this is the drum. I'm setting the computer on it, so just so people know. The bottom of the tree, the name of this drum is called choinshi, which is choshishin. Choshishin. It came from the word choshishin. The choinshi is a drum that is carved from a solid piece of log, and they chip and hollow it inside. We usually put antelope or deer skin on it. Mm-hmm. In Ghana, we don't use goat skin a lot on drums. I would say the only drum that we use goat skin on is the talking drum.
Okay.
Because goat skin is very, very thin, and we want and calf skin is too thick for the hands. So antelope and deer is really, really nice skin for hand drums. So we use it on the choinshi drums. And a lot of other types of drums too. They would use these drums for all kinds of music that they were playing in my community. But the style of music that I played on that drum is called Yeakpe or Osode, and that is sometimes there will be a lot of ladies, and the ladies write their own songs. Okay. And they use castanets, very, very colorful singing. But they would always have one guy, one lucky guy, and they have to choose that person as the person who's gonna play that one drum for them. And they don't use two drums, just one drum. So they use one guy. And I think it's a way of ladies to take the power, and say, okay, this is our thing. And if you're a guy, you're gonna be in these only if we say you're gonna be part of this. and I kind of like that. I like that about that style of music. So I play it quite a bit in shows, and the story behind it is what really grabs me also. The small instrument that I played is called siak, and it's from the northern part of Ghana, and they use it in various parts of the music they play there. That instrument is actually new to me, but I got it and I really like it a lot, so I spend a lot of time on it. Let me grab it real quick.
Okay.
Are you talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one is a gourd that has beads in it. So it's a small gourd, and we cut this part and take all the inside out and dry it up. Then after it's dried, put some beads in there and cover it up. And this, you see, there is like a tape that is around it. Some guys who play this very well found out that if they put the tape, a couple of layers of tape on it, when they drop it, it doesn't break easily.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love the technique of playing that you demoed.
Yeah.
It's almost like dance, but with your hands.
Yeah.
How cool. Is there anything else you would like to share before we wrap up this interview? Anything about an upcoming album or another live stream performance that's happening? Anything like that?
Well, I think I want to thank you guys for this opportunity, and thank you for. I know our main goal was to do in-person performance, but you guys still kept me in the mix, and I really do appreciate that. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to still be able to share my craft with your audience.
Oh, sure. We're so glad you were open to doing a festival this way. And hopefully we'll get to have you in person next year for 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Good to talk to you, Okaidja. Let's give Okaidja a round of applause for that fantastic performance. Thank you so much, Okaidja. Cultural context is key. I loved hearing Okaidja's stories. Often those discussions of context are really about a sense of identity or a sense of home. That theme has come up so frequently in conversations with artists as they're sharing the context of their work that as part of the regular Ashland World Music Festival, we incorporated the Heartbeat Stories, which are stories about home. While we weren't able to do a Heartbeat Stories this year, we do have some clips for you from last year. Stories of home.
The stories you'll be hearing tonight are not so much performances as they are personal sharings and personal truths.
As we talk about our stories, as we talk about who we are remembering our past, connecting it to the present, and connecting it to the future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with Sophia Lanton. Please come up.
Our stories, they define us. Our stories keep us alive. Ancestry, history, legend, and myth, all well up in the story. My own story began when I entered this incarnation on a scorching hot midsummer day in a tiny town in a tiny corner of a tiny province in southeastern Europe. Macedonia was part of Tito's Yugoslavia, and it was to be the scene of my early childhood when my parents left me soon after that scorching hot day in the care of my grandparents.
Please welcome Lido and Grandma Sky.
Grandfather, Holy Spirit, come before you as one of many of your children. I thank you for this sacred journey that brought us here and brought everyone here to share the place where we come from. And this dance was really a beautiful dance from the healing of the nations. And it's a good focus to celebrate each seed that is sown with the love of our Creator, all nations, all generations. Oh,
Our home was made from logs and mud. This was home, without electricity or running water. I believe home is a state of mind, a place we seek comfort within us. Home is a place that empowers us as people to grow and build.
In despair, now is the time to learn the language of home.
Seeking a safe place to land, a home that will hold us to break in order to rebuild, seemingly destructive, but know all that you see arose from that journey.
Home was an interesting place. Awesome, amazing, magical, and home was physical abuse. Home was intense sufferation. Home for me is where I am in every moment.
Your own home. It's not the structure or the shelter. It's the thing that is the opposite of helter-skelter. It's the deepness in the heart, the essence that causes the heartbeat to pump.
The fun I had with my childhood friends, playing street soccer every evening, barefoot of course. I didn't have my first pair of shoes until I was 6, but I didn't mind because I hated shoes anyways. It was the best childhood I could ask for and the best memories of my life. This was home. But it all suddenly changed in 1980. I was 13 years old. Fear grew overnight. Terror was in the streets, in the news, and in the eyes of every person. It wasn't my choice to leave my native home in El Salvador. It was a matter of circumstances. It was not an easy decision for my father to make either, but it was his only option to keep us safe. Perhaps as adults, home has less to do with a physical place and more to do with a sense of peace about where we are in life and what we do with our lives.
Home is your identity. I would spread myself all over you. But food is not all we can do. I am not Aladdin, Jafar, or Jasmine. These cartoons I have never been. And his real name is Aladdin. I can curse my leader. The beater beats me with his totalitarian hand, but I would never curse my land.
As stated in all of the stories, home is more than a structure. It's an identity. It's where you are in life. It's a sense of belonging. It's a sense of community. That sense of community, that sense of belonging is what we're supporting with the fundraiser that we are running today for the Phoenix Talent School District. Remember, Rogue World Music will be matching the first $1,000 donated. If you'd like to make a donation today, visit rogueworldmusic.org and click donate on our homepage. And once again, this event would not be possible without the support of our wonderful sponsors. Let's thank them one more time. All right, let's welcome our second act to the screen, the Nell Jim Band. This fantastic band is based out of the Bay Area, and they bring a performance that fuses all sorts of music considered part of the American music tradition. Let's give them a big round of applause. Welcome, Nell Jim.
Hello, everybody. This is the Nell and Jim Band, and we're here as a part of the Ashland World Music Festival. And we're really happy to be here and happy to be virtually in Oregon.
Yeah.
So we have a set of mostly original music. And the first one is called By Stars and Sunrise. It's one that we wrote with that Jim and I wrote with a good friend, Chris Wadsworth. And it's about an immigrant on the immigrant trail. And it's one of many, many stories from those times. And of course, currently in these times. So here it is, By Stars and Sunrise.
Me to do in this place with no future. He says, go west, my son, with brother Austin. Bet your life on the borderland. On the dusty range, I met Louisa, and our sons were born in terrible danger. Comanches in the north, Tejanos in the south, facing death laid over south. I'm a coming home, Louisa. Wait by the door and tell the children they'll never be cold again. And how you know me when I left so lonely, I return a free and rich man. Cursed and poor, a failing wretch, I rode alone by stars and sunset, fixed my sights on the promised land, for to die or come home again. Now the western sun, it warms my weary back, and good fortune has filled my pack. Led by stars above, this time the sunrise guides me home to my home. I'm a coming home, Louisa. Wait by the door and tell the children
This next one is another sort of an immigrant story, and this is from the time of the gold rush in California, and people who were coming west to make their fortune, and as we know, so many people didn't make it and didn't survive that. But this particular story is a person who tries their luck at the and finding gold, and then failing that, goes up and works in the timber industry in the sequoias. And my daughter's partner just got back from a camping trip up there, and he was telling us that the tallest tree in the world, we think, is called Hyperion. Did you guys know this? It's got a name. You know about this. I didn't know. And it's something like 380 feet high. So it's just tremendous, and it's so sad to think about losing those original trees to sort of feed the building boom in San Francisco. But San Francisco grew from a little town of 25,000 to, a couple 100,000 in very, very short period of time. Yeah. Thanks in good part to all of that, all that timber.
Here's one called Sequoia Gold.
I got blood on my hands, dead on my feet, standing on the banks of Casper Creek. Took 3 days, but I brought her down, good as gold when she hit the ground.
we are coming to you from the San Francisco Bay Area. The band actually lives all over the Bay Area in different towns, but we are in Brisbane, and we're here with our friend Dan Foldis, who is filming us, and it's very, very hot here. It was 105 when we left San Rafael today. There's a lot of smoke. It's a sad time right now, actually, in California. We hope the smoke hasn't gotten up to Oregon, but there's a lot of it down here. So we're just wishing the very best for the communities that are affected right now and for the firefighters. Yeah, so Winnemucca.
Oh, Winnemucca.
Yeah.
That's a different key.
We're going to do another song. These first three songs are all ones that Jim and I co-wrote with his friend Chris. And this one is called Winnemucca, and we've actually just released a sort of a fun documentary-style video with the all the characters in this song are real. And they do live in Winnemucca, and they're a part of that community, and we love them. We've played there many times and gotten to know that town. It's just really an awesome little desert town. And so we put the Martin Hotel hosts music, and the Greater Basin Arts and Entertainment Group puts together concerts. But listen to the words, because all these people really exist, including Ramblin' Jack Elliott, who was with us on one of our trips. He makes a cameo in this song as well. And so here it is our little tribute to the awesome little town of Winnemucca.
Families welcome and the cowboys meet. The Basque Hotel is quiet outside. Inside, boisterous family style. Hear the rails on the edge of town. Eyes shut or a patch of icy ground. One hand steadies a tipsy friend, stumbling as the sidewalk ends. Lanky, baggy pants, balding man. Across his forehead an American flag. The Burning Man boys look out of place. The girls in long skirts and dusty lace.
Crashing thunder, explosion of light. Welcome consolation in the middle of the night. Girls, 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 truckers, get off here. Winnemucca gonna bite my tears.
Grim little church and a patch of oats. A big sadness and a tightening throat. Memories skitter at the edge of sight, holding hands on a moonlit night. Scrapes the faded brittle sign, and her mother merrily repays behind. The train engineer's a flirt named Red. The hot cake recipe's a secret, he said. The saddle maker has clear blue eyes. Some crinkled brow looks young and wise. Sparklers and Ramblin' Jack's hand burn hot, lighting up Harleys in the parking lot. Whitewashed poles, blue cheap in relief. Peak metal roof cuts through dry elm leaf. The townhouse motel sign just says no. The space age is vintage and I'm getting old.
Crashing thunder, explosion of light. Welcome consolation in the middle
it just feels so wonderful to be here with these good friends and making music together. It's been a hard thing for us and everybody else who plays music in groups. So these virtual festivals have given us an opportunity to at least get together and see each other, even if we only are seeing mostly eyes and eyebrows. But we've missed each other, and we've missed having a live audience. But we're really happy that these virtual festivals are happening, and so many more people can attend them, I think, than if they were live. People from all over the world. We put on a festival a couple weekends ago, and Jim and I did a workshop on collaborative songwriting. And there was a woman, a songwriter from London, who joined us, who was really neat. It was just really great. We've got another song. All of these songs are on our new album, by the way. It's called Western Sun, and it was doing really well on the folk radio charts. It was in the top 10 for 3 months, which we're awfully happy about. Got up to number 3. And chosen by Spotify's Best of 2020, one of a handful, which is an honor for us. This next song is one that was inspired. The story was inspired by a beautiful villa that we visited. How long was that? 3 years ago, I guess. 2017. We took a family vacation and brought along some friends and family, and went to a little town just outside of Florence, Italy. And Jim Kerwin over here on the bass came along with us with his son and his sister, and it was really special. And that villa had an incredible story. It's very, very old. And there was a young Serbian princess named Princess Gika. And she was a renowned beauty in the world, and as she aged, I mean, we're talking, she was 19 when she began to worry about how she looked, and maybe she was losing her beauty. And so we're, of course, here to celebrate beauty of all kinds and embrace really a broader vision of what makes a beautiful woman and a beautiful person. But we thought her story was so touching that we decided to write a song about her. And she had a companion. Florence Blood was an American painter who lived with her and painted her lovingly. And we imagined that they were in love. And I want to dedicate this to a very close friend who lives in Oregon, in Salem. She's just moved there a few years ago with her partner, Jennifer. Here's to Susan and Jennifer. This song is Limonaya, about a love that lasts.
She looks upon the Limonaya through window panes warped and curtained by grief. There she recalls her true companion among the peonies, sage, lavender, and bees. Once she laughed, danced, and sang, her beauty a legend known far and wide. From Belgrade, Florence to Paris, both men and women with envy sigh. Time has graced the ancient orchard private worship, away from prying eyes consumed by mad grief. Sunday morning praying servants may hear her fervent sighs echo in the chapel east. Inside her walls, just 4 and 20, still dearly loved by her one true friend. Blind to her own grace, she hid her face, till her cold body did they wash and tend. 100 years her portrait still hangs, facing in away from city lights, painted by the loving hand of the American. Their love once blossomed in the Tuscan sunlight. Moonlit nights, you may see her waltzing by Neptune in the grotto below. In the full bloom of her youthful beauty, she greets her lover in the quiet lemon grove.
That's nice. Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's Nell Robinson there. And we're going to do a tune now. Now, this is one that I wrote. And it's a bit, yeah, it's beautiful too. It's about a fella who's in love and unfortunately falls out of love, but it sure sounds like a happy song, and that's one of the things I like about it. It's a kind of a country two-step, so if you feel like getting up and dancing in your living room there, or wherever you're listening, wherever you're streaming, maybe you're down by a stream. I don't know.
By the stream.
Listening.
Maybe.
Maybe you're down by the Rogue River. You can be streaming this. In any case, this is one that's called In My Beautiful Dream. Yay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't ever want to wake up, never ever wake up from this beautiful dream. It's got my heart a-reeling with a mighty good feeling, the way it ought to be. There ain't gonna be no sadness, it's happiness for you and me. If I never wake up from this beautiful dream. Well, I've done away with sorrow and loneliness, you'll see, when you come back tomorrow, right on home to me, where we love one another and we'll have all the bases covered. Well, there ain't gonna be no others in my beautiful dream. I don't ever wanna wake up, never ever wake up from this beautiful dream. It's got my heart a-reeling with a mighty good feeling, the way it ought to be. There ain't gonna be no sadness, it's happiness for you and me. If I never wake up from this beautiful dream. Well, you take me to an oasis surrounded by the deep blue sea, and it gives me a blissful feeling as I hold you close to me. Well, nothing could be any better than being this close together. Well, I wish it would last forever, but it's just a beautiful dream. I don't ever want to wake up, never ever wake up from this beautiful dream. It's got my heart a-reeling with a mighty good feeling,
beautiful dream. Well, shouldn't be.
Introduce the band?
Well, yeah, you should introduce the band. I'm gonna get my banjo. You can introduce the band.
Okay, great.
I know them, so you don't. You don't have to introduce them.
Oh,
to
okay.
Me.
This is Jim. Everybody, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah. We feel so happy to have this group of talented and just wonderful human beings to work with and to play music with. We really are lucky. And I'll start over here with our percussionist. This is Alex Aspinall on percussion. Yay! Fabulous. And over here on the keyboards and the accordion is Mr. Rob Reich. Yay! Now we know you're loving all the music these guys make. Last but very, very much not least is Mr. Jim Kerwin over here on the bass fiddle. Yay! All right. I'm Nell and that's Jim. In case you didn't know. Oh, thank you. So I think we have just one more song for y'all, and this is one. I let Jim introduce it because I like his introduction to this one. But he's got to tune his banjo. Yes, but I will tell you about the banjo. This is a very special banjo. As you can probably tell, it's a 6-string banjo. It is strung like a guitar. And Jim found this beauty at the Deering Company in San Diego. This is a Deering banjo, and they're really well known for the beautiful, beautiful instruments that they make and send all over the world. He was touring with Tony Trischka and Sharon Gilchrist, and I think Janet Deering must have seen him kind of eyeing this banjo up on the wall because she took it down and handed it to him and said, "Would you like to borrow this?" And Jim said, "Sure." And I think that was 4 years ago, right?
Something like that.
They're still trying to hunt him down. No, they're so kind. They're very generous. Deering Banjo Company is really a very, very generous group of people.
And it's a wonderful banjo.
And it's a beautiful banjo. We love it. It sounds all old-timey.
And we're going to play this. Next tune that we're going to play is an old number that was made famous by the wonderful late Ralph Stanley, late great Ralph Stanley of the bluegrass fame. And it's called the Clinch Mountain Backstep. And many folks don't know that the origin of the banjo is from Africa. It came to the United States during the slave trade, and its influence on American music and culture is just unsurpassed, really. And so we're going to pay tribute to some of the African roots by starting it off with having Alex play a little bit of a drum solo, includes a little bit of African rhythm, and they're going to, Jim Kerwin here on the acoustic bass is going to play kind of a jazz back and forth with the drums, and then we're going to go in, we're going to all play together, just kind of give it that Scots-Irish feel of a lot of bluegrass music, including the accordion and our great accordion player, Rob Reich there. So we hope you enjoy it. We sure have enjoyed playing for you folks. This is one called the Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Oregon. Thank you, Ashland Music Festival, Alex Aspinall, Rob Reich, Jim Kerwin. I'm Nell Robinson. This is Jim Nunnally. Check us out at nellandjim.com and check out our new album, Western Sun. Thanks, everybody. Be well. Bye.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello,
That
Anna.
was such a wonderful show. Thank you so much for being a part of the Ashland World Music Festival this year. How are you?
Thank you so much. Well, we're doing well, and we're just so excited that you guys just sort of kept on going and just persisted and decided to make this happen, because at the time that we filmed that clip, California was burning and Oregon had not yet started to burn. And so we know you all have been through a lot up there, and we're just sending you, heartfelt love and gratitude for keeping the music going.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for working with us. As I'm sure some people watching this might know, we had originally planned to have this festival happen on September 12th. And then a lot of people were evacuated from their homes in our area, and it just made so much more sense to wait and do it right and find a way to maybe help more people with this event. And we were able to by turning it into a fundraiser. So thank you for being flexible with the timeline as well.
Absolutely. I feel like in these crazy times between the COVID measures that everybody is taking, the election, which has been nutty and crazy, but thank goodness looks like that's done. But then the fires for West Coast, right? The fires in the air. At a certain point, it isn't the show must go on anymore. It's really, this isn't normal. And we have to acknowledge that and just call it. We're stepping back until things normalize somewhat.
Right, exactly. So, I think we're getting to something normalizing, and that's exciting. And to totally shift the conversation to a bit more normal, I'd love to hear how you guys became a band and found each other and a writing duo. Your songs are so fun and original, and I love the stories behind them.
So. Thank you so much. You want to answer that?
Well, how we met, it was interesting. Nell was doing a workshop in Berkeley. She was organizing a workshop, and the workshop was called Take the Stage, and it was for musicians or people who had day jobs, and they were for the most part. I mean, there were a lot of different people who participated, but people who were working on their music, maybe they put their music aside while they raised their family, or whatever their life changes.
Closet musicians.
Closet musicians. A lot of good players. And what she did was organize this program where she put bands together. People signed up, and then they were put into bands, and the bands would get to play on stage in Berkeley at the Freight and Salvage. It was called Take the Stage. And so she hired professional musicians to work with the bands, to coach them. And so that's how we had originally met.
So you're one of the musicians who coached the bands.
So I was able to coach, and then we had met there, and then she found out that I owned a recording studio, and I had made lots of records. And Lori Lewis, who's a fine musician from the Berkeley area, she and I co-produced Nell's first record, which was called Luango. And then after that, she hired me again to produce her second record, which was called On the Brooklyn Road. And then from there, we decided that we were going to do a duet record. So we put out a record that's called House and Garden. And so we met through the different music productions that we started working on.
That's wonderful. How long have you all been creating together?
Well, we met probably about 10 years ago, and I would say it's about 7 years ago that we decided to start writing music together, and that culminated in the album House and Garden.
Oh, wow.
And I was, I'm a newcomer to a life in music. I've been doing this only for 10 years in terms of dedicating my life to it, but Jim's been doing this, since he learned from his dad, who learned from his dad, so all his life. And so when Jim asked me one day, we were coming back from a radio interview, and he said, "Would you be interested in doing a duo together?" I thought, oh, me? You're going to do that with me? Yes. I was delighted, but scared and intimidated too. So I've learned a lot from him, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah, it was very interesting insofar as having that. I had some ideas about sounds that I wanted to create, and basically around two voices and a guitar, I wanted to do a record like that. So I had ulterior motives.
Jim, you come from a family of musicians.
Yes. Well, my father, he was a very good guitar player and a singer, fantastic singer. And he had bands when he was, in his teens and early 20s in California, in the Bay Area. But my grandfather, who also played guitar and taught my dad how to play guitar, they were from Arkansas, and they came to California during the Dust Bowl. They migrated out west to look for work. They're very poor, settled in the Bay Area. And so I took an interest in music. I heard my dad actually showing somebody how to play blues guitar, Delta blues guitar, that he had heard when he was a kid in Arkansas. And even though my dad was really a great country western singer, he knew that style a little bit, and he could show how to play that style. And so in any case, I heard him doing that, showing a friend of mine, Pat Dorn, that style of guitar, and I thought, man, I was 8 years old, and I said, boy, I want to, can you teach me? And he said, yeah. And so he started to teach me guitar when I was 8.
Wow.
And I really got into it when I was about 14. Then I really got into it, and I got my first paying gig when I was 15.
Ooh.
$75 for I think it was 2 hours, and I just did the math, basic math. Okay, so the kids back then, they were making about $1 an hour working at a fast food place like McDonald's or something like that. And I thought, well, wait a minute here, $75 an hour.
Yeah.
That's a couple.
That's good math. That's really good math.
So I didn't know that all these years later it was going to be less than that.
So, Nell, what brought you to music? Do you have some family connection to it, or what happened for you?
Well, I was actually a very musical child, so I sang in choirs and sang in my school plays and loved to sing, ran around singing all the time, and learned to play the flute when I was in 5th grade and kept it up for a long time and loved it, obsessed, would hide out in my bedroom and practice for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I really loved it. So I was in love with music. But what happened is, as I, got older and went off to college, music became sort of took a back seat. And I had a life and a career in politics and political organizing. I was a political organizer for years. And then as a fundraiser and a nonprofit person, I worked for Mother Jones Magazine for some years as well. And so But what happened is when my daughter, I have one daughter, her name is Cass, and when she was getting time for her to leave home, I realized I really needed to change my life. She'd been the center of my life. And, the teenagers are really rocky, and she was really pushing hard to get away from me, which was normal and great, but it was sad for me. And so I decided, I've always wanted to get back to music. So I just began taking some vocal lessons, and Jim mentioned Lori Lewis and some other people in the Berkeley area who I met, who warmly welcomed me. And one thing led to another, the workshop and a band and meeting Jim, and here we are, 10 years later.
Yeah. So on that note, what sort of advice do you have for someone who may have been musical at one point and is trying to get back to it?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question, because I would also expand it to people who just want to and never have. And my feeling is music is for everyone. Everyone can sing. If you can vocalize, even if you can't vocalize, you can even move in a way that sings. And so, I just say find a group, find a community, take lessons. There's a lot of really great musicians who are teaching online right now. And in fact, it's helpful to them as well. It's a stream of income that is helping during these times of canceled gigs and tours. So find a teacher, connect with them, find a community of people to connect with, even online. And there's a wonderful place in Berkeley called the Manning School of Music. And it's a perfect example of teachers and students in community, and really turning out wonderful musicians, including a lot of children who end up being just prolific, amazing talents. But they do jams, they go to senior centers and sing and play for others. So I just feel like music can be in your life and you should go for it, and there's no reason not to. And it's never too late.
Right.
Well,
right.
And as was mentioned in your last interview about, he learned from YouTube, saw these musicians playing and in a style that he was interested in. So I mean that's a wonderful resource that when we were learning music didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist and all that stuff.
Maybe TV, but you couldn't even record the TV.
Yeah. So on that vein, how during this time of virtual connection only, really, that we've been in, how have you connected with other musicians when maybe working on your project that's coming up?
Yes, that's such a good question, and so many of us have really struggled to figure out how to deal with that. And we have gotten together with our band to film for some of these wonderful online festivals like this one. And it's such a gift that you festival organizers give to the musician community, because it gives us a reason to get together and to play music together, to be together, because we become like family, and we miss our musical family so much. So these opportunities to perform a set and to bring that to a festival has really given us 3 or 4 or 5 opportunities to do that since the pandemic started. Other than that, really, we're lucky because we live together, and so we can make music together whenever we like. And we've Zoomed with our band just to be in contact with them and to touch base as human beings. But at this point, we are not yet comfortable being together in a jam situation. So even, for instance, at our filming, you saw the band members were masked. Because we're singing, we can't mask, but we had set up the stage so that we were singing forward and not in the way of the band. So we still have to be very, very careful about COVID with this second wave happening right now. And we just so look forward to the day we can get back to performing together.
It's so interesting to hear firsthand, all the thinking through that has to happen right now if you're going to perform with other people.
Yeah.
And also to hear about how important the connection that music brings into your life is. That's the whole point of the festival, is creating connection through music. And it's just so wonderful to hear your stories about that.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of connection through music, I'd love to hear a little bit about Banjo Boy Coffee, which is a sponsor of the festival. And I know it's connected with you guys, and I know it's really focused on creating some cultural connections through music as well.
That's right. And meet Banjo Boy.
Oh, hi, Banjo Boy.
Well, it's Jim of Banjo Boy Coffee. It's interesting how that came to be, and it's so interesting to be talking about these festivals, because I think what's super important about what you're doing here today is you're giving people a little bit of insight into what typically happens at a music festival, a world music festival, the kind of variation of the music. And I think that the curation of the festival is part of the experience. So, you guys choosing the bands who are going to perform there, who you're going to bring to Ashland or bring to that area of Oregon, who would have performed live, at one point, that this is a good example of that experience, kind of from the safety of your own home. But, you don't have to worry about wearing a mask out in public and stuff like that. You get to actually see it here, and people, who have never been to one of these types of festivals, this is kind of, I think, a good introduction. And part of that, I had traveled with a band for many years based up in Canada, and I played at the Mission Music Festival. I've played at so many great festivals up in Canada, Vancouver Folk Festival. We played there as well. And but a lot of the Canadian festivals had a lot of music from around the world. They would just call them folk festivals, and they would present folk music from around the world. Part of being on tour as a road musician was having other products to sell. And so besides CDs, if you don't have a new CD to sell, or if you're selling your old ones and all your fans have bought all your old CDs, if you have something if you could have something that's perpetual, that they are addicted to, that they could have over and over and over, that's where that idea came from.
Yeah, that's where that comes from.
Banjo Boy Coffee. I thought, what better way? Well, as it turned out, in that band, there's a great banjo player in John Reichman and the Jaybirds. His name is Nick Hornbuckle, and he was a coffee roaster. He still is a coffee roaster on the island of Vancouver Island up in Canada. So in any case, one night I just had this, I was going to bed in a hotel room while we were on the road, and I thought, Banjo Boy Coffee, that's what we should do. We should sell Banjo Boy Coffee. So I went on and got the URL immediately. It was available. And then the next morning I said, hey, Nick, I got it. I said, I got the URL. And so in any case, that's how it all started. And so started selling, we sell the coffee while we're on the road, but you can also get it online.
And there are 5 blends.
There's 5 blends. There's a ukulele blend. There's a 4-string, 5-string, and 6-string, and those are all decaf. But the ukulele, 4-string, 5-string, and 6-string banjo blends, those are all based on banjos that are made by the Deering Banjo Company down in Southern California. And so in any case, we got together with them, and I started doing these. Nell and I started doing tastings here at home.
We were really wired. We were so wired for days.
Yeah, for about a month, for at least a month. Kept blending these coffees, different flavors of coffee together to kind of represent what my take on each of the instruments was, Yeah. And so each of the blends, like there's some Kona coffee in the ukulele blend, and there's this Ethiopian coffee that's really part of all of or three of the blends. But in any case, using coffees from all over the place and to create these certain kind of a blends. And it was interesting when I was blending the coffees that the people that are doing the roasting, they said, wow, these are interesting blends. We wouldn't have thought to put together these flavors. And then I said, well, these trying to create these certain kind of flavors for the different types of banjos, the music of the different type of banjos.
Yeah. It's a composition.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, this copy is helping to fund performances by musicians of color, right?
Yes.
Yes. I'm so glad you raised that, because we want to give real credit to the producer, Rochelle First. And she's been working with us to book the first 5 or 6, I think, Banjo Boy concerts have happened. And so these are artists who are being featured from all over the country. All musicians of color. The latest one, Lowell Levenger, a white musician from Marin County, very interesting person, but started with Benjamin Hunter, who I think is Pacific Northwest, I'm pretty sure.
Washington, I think.
Is he Washington? Yeah. Okay. Benjamin Hunter, Reese Palmer, Angie Kay, Kamara Harris, and Amethyst Kaya. So just tremendous musicians, people of color. It was the perfect timing because we were very passionate about what was happening with Black Lives Matter.
You said Kamara Thomas, not Kamala Harris.
I think Kamara Thomas, not Kamala Harris. Wow, I've got
no.
I think I said
my brain. Kamala, but I think you said Harris. But
in any case, it was all getting put together right at the time that Black Lives Matter was really exploding all over the country. And we just were really excited about featuring these incredible musicians.
Well, what a great alignment of missions. One of our big purposes is to make sure that we showcase artists who are culture bearers and who are able to share the context of the culture that they're sharing. I love the alignment.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We feel, actually, I have to tell you, we really feel an affinity with your organization. I feel like we're kindred spirits in terms of values and ideas. We so appreciate what you do. I'm sorry, I started interrupting you.
There's the interesting thing about that I'm so happy about with sponsoring people of color is that the banjo, I don't know, I went through this, people who were watching the video, they saw this on our show, but the banjo came from Africa and its origin is in Africa, and the influence on American music is so profound. And so that's part of one of the things about America that's so wonderful is that we've been able to use all these different types of music,
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for having this time to chat and fill us more in about your band and about your supporting of other artists. It's wonderful to have you. I am going to share a quick update on how our fundraiser is doing, and I hope that we get to see you at the 2021 Ashland World Music Festival in person.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thanks to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So really quickly, just an update. We are doing a pretty good job with this fundraiser. The $1,000 match that Rogue World Music offered has been met. We are actually at $1,875, and we have had an anonymous donor offer to match the next $1,000 raised. We are super close, $175 away from that goal. So let's keep up the fantastic work. And I'll be back with another fundraising update at the end of our last interview. So let's get back to the show. What a great performance and fun chat. A huge thank you to the Nell Jim Band for participating in our virtual festival this year. I hope you've been enjoying the festival so far. The 3 artists playing today are doing a teaser performance for the 2021 festival. They'll be part of a 7-band lineup, and we are excited to see what we can do in the 2021 year. And while we don't know what next year brings for public gatherings and keeping everyone safe and healthy, we do know that we want to work on making sure we bring as much back from our regular festival format as possible. Here's what we've been missing. None of these events would be possible without the support of our wonderful sponsors. Let's thank them one more time. And one more time, if you've been thinking about making a donation to the Phoenix Talent School District Fire Relief fundraiser that we've had going on today, now's the time. Hopefully we'll be dancing, telling stories together, singing together, and seeing some fantastic live music next year. But until then, let's bring our final act to the stage, Son de Cuba Quartet. This fantastic salsa band is based in Portland, and stick around for their interview. They're so fun to talk with.
Mi bendición.
Hicieron un chat
Something called Bésame, Mama. Alright, this is more salsa. This is something called Cali Pachanguero, all the way from Colombia.
So that was a fantastic performance by Son de Cuba, and we will be with them in just a moment for a live Q&A, but I wanted to give you a quick update about the festival fundraiser for the Phoenix Talent School District. Jim Nennelly of the Nell and Jim Band and Banjo Boy Coffee just wanted me to let you all know that any orders of Banjo Boy Coffee made today, the proceeds from those orders will go to this fundraiser as well. So you can find that coffee at www.banjoboycoffee.com and test out any of his various coffee flavor compositions. I'm looking forward to ordering some myself. All right, let's get to our Q&A. Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Hi.
hello, how are you?
So first, would you please go starting with the guy in the fantastic Christmas sweater and introduce yourself.
That's you. I'm Jackson. I play timbales. Hi.
I'm Freddie Vilches, and I'm the singer.
Hi, Freddie.
Hi. Tony,
Hey,
percussionist, Cuban percussionist.
Yeah.
I'm Ramon, flute and sax player.
Hi, Raul.
Hi.
Thank you for being here with us today, and thank you for that fantastic performance. I love the energy you guys bring to every show you do. It's always so upbeat and happy and joyful. So welcome to your Q&A.
Thank you. Thank you.
First question, I'd love to know how you all got started playing this type of music, this music from all around the Caribbean. I'd love to know.
Jackson, do you want to go first?
Oh, I was actually born in Ashland, and I grew up in Portland, but I started off playing heavy metal music, but I always was exposed to a lot of Latin music from my dad when I was a kid, and I always liked it, and I just kind of started studying it online on YouTube and listening and asking questions, and ended up getting to work with some Cuban style bands in Portland and learn a lot, and eventually play with these guys. Yeah, so that's.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I'm from Chile, from Santiago. But when I was in college here in Eugene, I went to study music for a summer. I went to Santiago. I'm from Santiago de Chile, but I went to Santiago de Cuba to study music. So I spent a whole summer there studying percussion and all the traditions and all that. And when I came back, I joined a salsa band, a Latin jazz band, and then I met these guys, and now I'm here playing with Son de Cuba.
Yeah, in my case, well, I grew up in Cuba, playing this type of music. However, just like getting into the percussion side of it, while attending college, I went to a concert of a band called Charanga Habanera, and I was like, oh, I really like this. It was really upbeat music. And when I went back home, I talked to my dad, and I didn't even know at that time that my dad was a percussionist. He was kind of like, keeping it in secret. And he was like, hey, I can teach you basic stuff. And it was rough. And and he hooked me up with, friends, and I started studying this. And I ended up representing a salsa band in Cuba, Los Reyes 73, and while going to law school. And kept on going, doing this. I moved over here and met Nelson. He's not here. But after that, I met Isidro, which unfortunately he's no longer in the band. But after that, I went to a gig at Lois and Clark, in which Freddie works, and I was like, I really like that voice. And I was like, hey, Freddie, do you want to join us? And this, you want to jump on this board. I mean, like a boat. Sorry, on board. And he was like, okay, let's do something. And we started rehearsing, and since August 2015, we hit it, and here we are. Yeah.
I think I started earlier than these guys. I started at 5th grade. I went to music school, and I graduated from college studying classical music. But then on the side, I was playing in jazz bands, music, Cuban music bands. And then 7 years before, 4 years ago, when I arrived to the United States, I played 7 years with the famous Cuban band of my town, Camagüey in Cuba, touring all the Cuba from the west to east of Cuba. Those 7 years, every weekend, 3 or 4 days a weekend, times a weekend, I play with that band. So, but then I arrived here, I was kind of lost, just fighting with learning new language, and I didn't look for anyone or anything. But then Tony in a rehearsal with somebody else who invited me to play with them, a different band. He saw me, he invited me to start playing with them. Here I am 2 years after.
Yeah. Nice. I'm really curious. Every time I've seen you all perform, I feel like just people come out of the woodwork to connect and to dance. And I'm wondering if that's something that you see every time you play, if you feel like your music really brings people together, and maybe if so, why you think it does.
I think that's the case, almost everywhere we play. Yeah. I feel like there's a great need for people to go out and dance, but also dance to music that represents, very old traditions from Latin America, because we play music from Cuba, but we also play music from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, South America. And so for the Latinos or Latinx people that come to see us, it's a way to be in touch with the culture. But for non-Latinos or, the people from here, they love to see people living in Oregon, right, and in this area that can play in a way that is, we'd like to think authentic, right? Because, we keep our roots alive, and we are also studying and try to play as well as possible. So I think that's...
Yeah, following on Fred's words, also the intention behind creating this band was precisely that, like we didn't want like a full band of made of Cubans, so that's why we got Jackson and the timbales, he's
locally grown, free range,
free range, and he's amazing. But you have to see the way that he communicates with our pianist, and our pianist. He's not fluent in English, and Jackson is not fluent in Spanish, but it's just that music, side of it, what makes them communicate. You have to, and that's what we try to kind of put out there for people to connect with us, and the intention of touching people's hearts, like we are not, as Freddie said, we don't play only music from Cuba, the music from Latin America, and also with that jazzy influence, just to the American side of it. And so far so good. I think people like it. Yeah.
So I like, you're all playing some type of music that you kind of grew up with a little bit, right? Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you feel like that's like keeping you connected with either people you love who you aren't near to, or cultures that you are no longer living in, or anything like that?
Definitely, yeah. It's sort of like a cultural bridge with our hometowns, our home countries, and a bridge to all those people, like I was saying, right, that are kind of hungry for this culture that we try to somehow represent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like living. continue living your life thinking that you're living in your native country, but doing it in the States, you know, like, so obviously you have to speak English and follow the society rules, but you have that, you know, you have to see me in my car. It was like, hey, and sometimes I have to kind of like contain myself because I'm always like, hey, and people look at me like, hey, you're kind of weird, dude, you know, like, oh, and I'm kind of adjusting to that after being here for like 15 years because it's a what Latin people, I mean, like they grew up with this kind of like a natural happiness, you know, like it's part of the region because of the sun. It's so sunny down there that people have to be all the time, you know. Yeah. And people from the northwest, they're more like, you know, center and meaningful and kind of like, you know, and more like, yeah, I have worked with, you know, people like this, and they take me, Tony, I think you're way too much. and it's a beautiful chemistry. I love people from America, from Oregon, from this region. I love them. So authentic. That's the word. So, yeah.
Well, it's kind of on that note. So you recorded this performance before today, which I'm glad because it's raining there right now. And,
Yes.
But I'm wondering if you could share, Tony, the story you told me of the day you recorded it. Like you're all out there in your driveway, and can you talk about what that was like?
Yeah. We were recording this, and my neighbors. That's why I told them that I love people from, you know, especially Oregon. They saw us. They know already, you know, that when I'm doing this, it's like, oh, Tony, are you gonna be playing? So let us know. We can get our kids, you know, like kind of handing, you know, notice to the neighborhood, and to let them know that we are gonna be playing and rehearsing. And we started kind of, you know, recording, and I see people bringing their chairs and placing them at the end of my driveway, and also
drinks and
the drinks and snacks. And I'm like, ooh.
It's a summer festival here.
Yeah, and people with their cowboy hat, you know, like cowboy hats, and they're like, hey, guys, we love you, and it's so beautiful when you receive that from your neighbors, you know, like for example, I have a neighbor that he lives like 10 houses down the road, and he's like, you have to let me know whenever you're rehearsing because I love your music. He brings his chair and places it in front of my house, and his drink and his cowboy hat, and he was like, yeah. He was like, I love it. And sometimes he, you know, on and off, he stand up and, you know, like shake his shoulder, sit down. I was like, yeah. And we as musicians, we connect a lot by seeing people connecting with our music, you know, because it's kind of like a stimulation for our, you know, band. So if we are playing and we see people dancing and enjoying it, I will break my congas. I will be like, yeah, you know, and that means that our mission is accomplished, you know. Yeah. I mean, this Son de Cuba. I mean, despite the fact that we are a band, we consider this. We were talking about this before we went online. That it's a family. It's a family of. Doesn't matter if you speak English or Spanish or Croatian or Asian, or like Chinese, Mandarin or Cantonese or Japanese or whatever language you speak. It's just the connection that we find within the, you know, the band and the music. It's so like, you know, I love it. I love it because we all do other things, you know, and whenever we play and connect, it's like I got my medicine.
We get our fix.
We got you know, our fix. You know, yeah, because it's food for our soul. What I consider this too. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's food for the soul of anyone who's listening. So thanks so much for feeding our souls. And we've got to wrap up pretty soon, but I thank you so much for being our closing act for the festival. And we hope we'll get you back down here in person next year.
We love Ashland. We love people from Ashland.
Really quickly before we go, do you have any event you'd like to share that you have coming up, or a live stream or anything like that?
Yeah, we're actually rehearsing after this for an event that is going to be happening for the tree lighting at Milwaukee, the city of Milwaukee, downtown. We're going to be rehearsing for a live stream, performance. And also next Friday, I believe is the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yes. We're going to be playing at a Morrison Market. But unfortunately, because of the governor ordinance, we have to follow the law. The capacity will be limited. Would be like, I believe, 50 people, because they went down in the amount of people allowed in inner side. One of the neighbors passing by, yeah, and I mean the mission is to keep playing, but obeying what the governor says that we as a musician should do, and keep on moving, yeah, keep on doing our best, yeah.
Well, fantastic. Will people be able to find the live stream to your events on your Facebook page if they want to catch it?
Yeah. You can find it there. Yeah.
And for those of you who aren't following them yet, Son de Cuba has a really great Facebook page. It's super easy to find. It's just at Son de Cuba. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Son de Cuba. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At the tree lighting, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, see you next year.
Maybe sooner than that.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye.
And let's see, really quickly before we head out and do our final thank yous, I just want to let everyone know who's participated that so far we have raised $2,325. The first 1,000 of that will be matched by Rogue World Music, and the second 1,000 of that will be matched by an anonymous donor. So total, we had raised $4,325 for the Phoenix Talent School District Fire Relief Fund. But, I was just notified that a local business in talent, Sweet Beat Station, has contributed another $3,050 from an effort of theirs. So we have raised, I'm going to do a little mental math here, $7,375 for the Phoenix Talent School District Fire Relief Fund. If you choose to purchase some Banjo Boy coffee today, those proceeds will go to that fund as well. And our donation link is going to stay live for the rest of today. And so you can contribute later or help spread the word to other people you think who might want to support this effort. And yes, thank you. We're gonna do our final thank yous, and I'm so pleased that we got to share today with you. Bye.
Thank you so much to Son de Cuba Quartet. What a great way to close out the 2020 virtual Ashland World Music Festival. And thank you to all of you who watched today. If you enjoyed the festival this year and would like to participate in future festivals, follow the Ashland World Music Festival Facebook page or check out our website at rogueworldmusic.org/AWMF. We look forward to seeing you next year. We look forward to seeing these 3 bands next year as part of the 7-band lineup. And we hope that you and all of your loved ones are well and safe. Take care and be well. We'll see you next festival.